Thanks for stopping by my market report. My name is Mike, and my report is about mortgage rates, what's driving them on a daily basis, what's the news that's impacting them, and if they're going up or down. We don't get so much into the actual rates themselves because there's just way too much out there in terms of what goes into a mortgage rate, whether it's a loan program, whether it's FICO scores, equity in a property, down payments to types of properties, occupancy, and down the line. There's a lot of variables that go into it that affect it. Also, this little bit about myself is I am a loan officer. I do work with a national lender. So if you guys got questions about mortgage rates or mortgage programs, if you guys are looking for somebody to help you with your refinances or purchases, please feel free to reach out. I'm here, and you can we'll be more than happy to assist you guys. Without further ado, let's kind of begin this report. We'll start with the economic reports. This week has been really light in terms of what's been released. However, today is the exception. We finally got something to report. Every Thursday, we get this jobless claims report. So last week's report came in at 576,000. However, that was revised 10,000 higher to 586. Forecast was looking at a higher number at 617,000, and it came in much lower, 547,000. So this is obviously very good news. We're starting to see this come lower and lower, that we're starting to see more people, less people applying for unemployment. Continued claims, as you can see here, we dropped from 3.708 down to 3.674, which is good news. That means less people are staying on unemployment. Good news. One of the big impact for the day that happened was the ECB, which is the European Central Bank. Lagarde, who's the president, Christine Lagarde, she gave her announcement. Basically, they set everything in, basically reassured everybody. There's no surprise or anything in there, and just said that they're going to be very accommodative. There's no intent or no discussion in terms of tapering off their purchases, their bond purchases. So right now they're basically keeping everything status quo. Nothing's been announced as any future. She did acknowledge that the economy is slowly picking up, but they want to be as accommodative as possible to get out of the jam that everybody's in. Until they're out, then they're not going to really discuss so much. The pressure is that they won't really discuss until they're out of the jam and before they make their next moves. We also had the existing home sales, which came in disappointing. We had 6.22 annualized, seasonally adjusted annualized units at 6.22 million for the month of February. That was revised slightly higher to 6.24 million. However, forecast was supposed to be a slight downturn to 6.19 million for the month of March. However, it came in much more disappointing to 6.01. And of course, this isn't due to demand, it is due to supply. We have no supply out there. We're at historical lows in terms of supplies. So of course, these numbers are being lower as a result of it. We have fewer properties to sell. We also got the leading economic leading index for the month of March. Back in February, it rose only 0.2%. However, that was revised to down 0.1%. Forecast for March was 1%, and it increased 1.3%, which is good news. This can kind of gives us a gauge as to the next 6 months where things are moving, and it looks like, according to this, we should be seeing some improvement in the economy in the upcoming 6 months here. Let's jump ahead, take a look at what's going on with mortgage rates, or I'm sorry, headlines. Let's start with headlines first. Stocks are down a bit. They're taking a bit of a breather again today, even though yesterday they had a little bit of a profit buying in while the market hit the certain caps. Now they're buying in. We're getting more current earnings, Q1 earnings reports. About 85% of them are hitting their numbers that they're expected, which is obviously good news. ECB, as we mentioned, had their announcement, so that did have some impact on the markets. We did see some fluctuations there. Also, something that later on in the day came in. Biden introduced his capital gains tax proposal, so this is something that will have to go through Congress to be up there, but basically they're looking at doubling in some form. I've seen a couple different versions, so I'm not really exactly sure which when they're going there, but this could average between 40 to 50% against capital gains, 40 to 50% rate. So obviously that's pretty steep. Let's jump ahead, take a look at what's going on with mortgage rates here. Mortgage rates, we start off the morning a little bit lower, kind of like we did yesterday. Start off a little lower, rose up. Right now we're unchanged. We did have a little bit of the peaks at the ECB. It was up a little bit and came back down. We've been kind of hovering between like negative 0.2 and up plus 0.3 for the most part. So 3 basis points. We've been kind of hovering about that, roughly about 5 basis points range here, kind of going back and forth a little bit. So we'll see where it's going up. But right now, I would say market's unchanged. So the mortgage pricing, you should see the same rates that we saw yesterday, which is good news. We did see an improvement yesterday. We did see it close up 13 basis points, which also helped out. Yesterday was just kind of also like similar like where we are at now, pretty much unchanged. We could see this, take off a little bit further. That is potentially, or we could stay, this again stay about the same. Yields, we're just under 1.57 right now. Still between the two levels here, between the 50-day moving average, which it tested earlier on, and then it also touches the technical level at the ceiling here. So we're starting to get that little bit of that crunch factor where it can easily touch both ends with one single day here. All right, folks, that's pretty much the wrap. Mortgage rates remain unchanged, and if you guys got questions or anything else I can help you guys out with, please feel free to reach out. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.